So I just wanted to come here real quick and speak life into those of you who may be feeling targeted, who may be feeling frustrated and isolated by the ignorance that you are surrounded by. And I know that there's a lot of you, because I know that I literally just got a message from somebody that I came across in my hip hop days, saying, this is what we were talking about. I guess you really stuck it to the Dems and Kamala. And I really want to just make a point that many of you who feel like people who wanted politician, presidential nominee, and candidate Kamala Harris to be clear on her policies and to speak directly to the racism that exists in this country and how she is going to address it. It seems as though many of you who felt that way, many of you who noticed people doing that didn't seem to understand what that was. You've contextualized it as somehow something that was an impediment to Kamala Harris being elected president. And for the record, I don't believe this thing is over yet. So she might very well end up being president. Let me just say that on record. I also want to make it clear, though, that a lot of you all who feel like those people who were asking that of the literal candidate for president were somehow impeding her, you are not informed. And you are not informed, or you are aligned with corporate American interest. And I can say that confidently as we see the fallout of this election and the commentary. And those who share your point of view are only the people who are literally white people sitting up there on these panels representing corporate interests. Everyone else who is analyzing this election has said she should have gone left. She should have done the antithesis of what her opponent was doing. So when you are attacking other Black people like myself, who are well-read, who are well legacied in their amplification and in their support of an advocacy of not just Black people, but of Indigenous people and of the oppressed worldwide, when you find yourself attacking us and trying to blame people like us for wanting the person who's going to sit at the seat of empire, no matter what color they are, to promise and to, with policy, demonstrate what they're going to do, you're on the wrong side. Stop yourself. And for those of you who are receiving this, please treat yourself to some ice cream and understand that you are in the legacy of people like James Baldwin. You are in the legacy of people like Thurgood Marshall. You are in the legacy of Ida B. Wells. You are in the legacy of all the people that we love to make into icons, while in present day, we like to make the people who are representative and who are continuance of those people iconoclasts. We love to make pariahs out of those who are literally the continuance of the ancestors that we praise. And we don't even know what we're doing so many times because we haven't even learned enough about the ancestors that we praise to understand how to recognize them in front of our face when they're right here. It's deplorable. And you sit here and you have the audacity to not even see your own ignorance as holding you back. And then you want to hold other people back. No. You were never going to win this. This was Kamala Harris and the Democrats' election to win, not you. You were never going to win this. And when you listen to the commentary of people who worked in the campaigns on the ground, of volunteers who were in places with Democrats that were on the ground, you hear them speaking about how they saw the campaign disregarding very, very important people that would have added to the number of votes that were needed. I'm just like, there's no such thing as black. Like, just because you're a black candidate doesn't mean you're pushing black policy. Okay? And when specifically black people are acting as if somebody did them wrong by not voting for the person who is consistently promising to continue a genocide against their people, I wonder about you and where your soul has diminished to. And you should wonder as well. Because they've convinced you that that politics matter more than people. They can never convince you of that. Never. You can never let them convince you of that. No. We have to always remain grounded in the fact that those who choose to go that route and go to that level have had to make choices upon how they will disengage from values, how they will disengage from people in order to carry forth the needs of the nation. When you start reading and you start really understanding nationalism and capitalism and oligarchies and autocracies, etc., your vocabulary opens up your ability to know where your actions should be directed. And so I say to many of you, disengage from directing your frustration at those who are acting in your best interest. And re-engage with your soul, re-engage with not just passive education, but intentional education. Make it your business to say, I need to learn more about this. What were aspects of this election that you felt like you didn't really know about? I know a shit ton of y'all did not know anything about Israel and how it affects this election. I hate Mark Lamont Hill. You threw me off. I was cooking, man. Let her cook. Let her cook. But actually, he a good one to listen to. Mark, I know a lot of y'all didn't know shit about Israel before this election. I know you heard all this chit chatter about Israel, and you were just like, I don't need to know about that. We just need to not have Trump. Baby. Yes, Mona, I told your ass to come through. I've been trying to reach you for weeks. Listen. Baby, many of you are smart, but you haven't engaged your intellect. Smart is, oh, I can understand that. Smart is, I can remember that. Smart is, I can repeat that. Intellect is, I can synthesize that. I can take this thing and I can take this thing and I can put them together and see this thing. Intellect is curiosity that is comprehensive. Like, oh, I'm curious about this thing. And then I'm able to think about it beyond. I'm able to think about it with not just the things that are in front of me. I'm able to think about it with my soul, with my spirit. I'm able to consider it with other perspectives. I'm able to look at this thing right here and then look at this person's perspective of this thing and look at this person's perspective of this thing and also be able to elevate beyond this thing. And this country is so committed to folks not becoming intellectual. Even the teachers will tell you that they now simply just have to teach dates and facts. They're not teaching the actual critical analysis of things. They're not teaching processes. Your brain is not being engaged to expand further, but you can do that. But you stop doing that when you come for people like me who have spent my entire life doing that. I just found a whole thing my mom had put together, all my report cards and shit. I've been on this wave. And I've been so lucky to be supported by educators and by friends. You know, look at the people who are dropping in here. These are smart people. And look at the range. We got one Philly nigga, Mark Lamont Hill, and another Philly nigga. Don't call me white girl. Both of them are intellectual. Then we have Hamid here in St. Louis who said, just had this conversation with my 11-year-old daughter that is a creative, that the artist and the intellectual is the most important people in our society. And you know what's crazy about this is that all of us have the ability to be both of those things. All of us. All of us have the ability to be both artists and intellectuals. But when we are taken out of those spaces because of school or because of survival or because of trauma, etc., it chips away, it chips away, it chips away, it chips away. But I want to encourage all of you all, if you find yourself in frustration, wanting to be degrading, wanting to be mean, wanting to be harmful to those who you know full well are in support of elevation, I ask you to check yourself. I ask you to check yourself and to say to yourself, what am I doing right now that is mimicking the thing that I actually am against? And if you come at me with that, I will call you a dumb bitch. I will call you a dumb bitch. I'm not going to be polite. I'm not. Because that's what a dumb bitch is. A dumb bitch is somebody who's being mean for no fucking reason, who left where they were to come to you, to bring negativity to you. And then has the audacity to do so with no facts supported. You are a dumb bitch. And you're going to think like, oh, Amanda's just being mean. No, Amanda's being factual. I'm just calling you this is what you're doing. Respectfully. So I really don't fuck with this app, but I know that I'm not the only person receiving this. And I also know that some of you all feel really compelled to behave in this way. And I want to encourage you to not. This election, if this election was actually lost, because again, the way this country go, we don't know what's what. This election was being run by Democrats, not by you. You are not a Democrat. You know how y'all be sounding right now? Y'all sound like the people at the job who be like, they robbed us. No, they didn't rob us. Do you have shares in this company? They didn't rob us. You sound like that old man in the house. Massa, we sick? No, Massa sick. You not sick. That's how y'all sound talking about we lost the election. No, they lost the election. They had very clear guidelines provided to them by their base on what was needed in order to win the election. And those were actually clear guidelines that are rooted in things that you would benefit from. You benefit from climate change being thwarted by actual stopping of fracking. You benefit from immigrants being allowed to come in the country peacefully and being able to create economy. Yes, you benefit from. What else you benefit from Israel actually not controlling this government. In a general case, you just benefit from your tax dollars not being used to kill people. Like on a spiritual level, you benefit from that. You benefit from the most people possible having the rights to pursue their freedom. I mean, it feels like he cheated because he probably did cheat. I don't know. They cheat. The thing is, they all cheat. That's the thing. They all cheat. They all be cheating. That's the thing. They all be cheating. I'm like, who's cheating how? Who's cheating how?
They let me go live with you, of all people. I haven't been able to go live in months. You know what? Now that I have this platform, I just want to say I am a true-blooded Republican. I love Jesus and Donald Trump. Please don't take my live anymore. I mean, I haven't been able to go live in years. I'm not saying nothing.
You don't have to say nothing.
You're gorgeous. You look good. When are you going to age?
What'd you say?
When are you going to age?
I really appreciate that because someone the other day said her white woman features are coming out. I felt some type of way about that.
Listen, remember your nephew that I was hiding from the world? I show him now. Say hi to Auntie Amanda.
Hi, Bubba Sauce.
Say hi, Auntie.
Oh my gosh. Hi. What's up?
Say hi,
How you doing? You good?
He really checking you out. I'm cracking up. He's really like.
No, that's why I'm giving him facial expressions because they like all of that.
No, Amanda. I have so many feelings about so much stuff, and what I want people to know. Stop it, boy. What I want people to know is, I think that a lot of times people are like, not like scared to learn,
yes,
but they kind of feel bad about being dumb, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think it's an insecurity, and I think it's one of those insecurities that, because you'll tell people, I hate my belly, I hate my mole, but to tell somebody I'm dumb as a bag of rocks, and since I don't have to go to school because I'm 40, I don't know where to begin to educate myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just fear that ignorance is going to have us just stuck, because then when people see a person like you, like my delivery is easier to like ingest because I'm cursing, I'm ranching, I'm ghetto. But with you, you're smart, you're educated, you're beautiful, you're light skinned. I think that it's harder. I just feel like, because I used to say, I said it on tour when I was on the podcast tour, like that was like a topic of mine. Like, I feel like you represent the things that you have to do when you are dumb. Like, you represent that, because I don't know if people know it or not, you're constantly seeking knowledge. This isn't I know what I know and you just sit on that throne. No. You're constantly searching and seeking, and that's why you say shit with your chest, because you're really educating yourself on these topics. But the hate that you get, I think it's just an inward hate, because people hate themselves in that way because they feel stupid. Does that make sense?
Of course. I just feel like I'm like an easy target, and it's like, you wasting your energy. Like, I don't, like, I'm not the target. Like, don't even put I'm not even talking about me as much as it's just like, don't waste you can put your energy into actually helping yourself. Like that,
Right.
like, it doesn't help you in any way to come for me. Like, that doesn't help you in any way. But what can help you is to be like, all right, what's that shit she talking about? Okay, here's the thing. If I'm talking about some shit, or anybody talking about some shit that you like, man, fuck that. The next thing you should be doing is reading up on that shit.
Right.
Like, if you don't like the shit we saying, then you should be reading up on it. Because then you can actually argue us down. Or, you feel me? Because then you can be like, well, I read the same book and you know how I know that? It's because that's what I did. Somebody came and told me about how everything I was saying was wrong. And I was like, okay, so then based on what? Based on what?
Right.
And they were like, based on X, Y, and Z. And I said, well, then I need to go learn about X, Y, and motherfucking Z.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I feel like now.
And I had to go back and tell them they were right.
Exactly. And I feel like now with social media and like the comment section and just having something to say, social media gave Ernie the plumber a platform. You know what I mean? It's people that have never been listened to in their whole lives. Ernie the plumber can't even get his wife to listen, but he can get on this platform and say and get attention, and people look. But that's how scary this shit is, that people are so, ignorance really is bliss, because a motherfucker will stand in the comments and go toe to toe and at not one point try to figure out if they know anything about the topic they talking about. Not one thing. Not one thing. And that's scary for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, damn.
It's scary.
I'm a positive person. I'm always about hope. Where's the silver lining with my people when it seems like people are getting even more cut off and standing on them islands alone? Like, I know what I know kind of shit. You need to know what it is.
I just feel like
you can have an opinion, but you need to know the facts.
I feel like what unfortunately is going to happen is that people can't stay on that island when, what's coming down is coming down. You know, like the harsh truth about Donald Trump becoming president is that if he is to become president, it's gonna force folks into community. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this that it's gonna force
It's going to force folks into
segregation.
what?
It's gonna
Oh,
force
yeah,
folks
yeah, for
into
sure.
community. It's going to force
Yeah,
folks into community, and it's going to be by it's probably first going to be not in name, but then it's going to be in reality, because at the end of the day you're not even going to feel safe around other motherfuckers, right? Like, you got people
yeah.
in New York talking all type of crazy shit and doing all type of crazy shit, and like someone came to me talking about this is why we wanted Democrats. I bet you really think he did something. And it's like, if you think that I have anything to do with this fool on the corner in New York being racist to somebody, you done missed the whole
The whole,
plot
it went over your head.
over
Most of
your
the time
head.
it does. Most of the time it does. I don't, it's like, it's almost painful to see. Like that, when it came out that he won and the stuff that I was reading from my fucking peers, like, come
I
on.
know. Me too. Me too.
Yo, like,
But
I
I'm gonna tell you.
mean,
I'm gonna tell you a silver lining that I did see.
okay, please. Wait, please.
Usually, ignorance is bliss, and, and usually it's the folks that be knowing that are riddled with anxiety. Bless
Mhm,
you, Jesus.
mhm, mhm.
In this election, what I saw with the people on my Patreon is that most folks didn't have anxiety because they was like, I already know we're not in a democracy. I already
Mhm,
know that this country is run by racists. So
mhm.
like they weren't going into this with like crossing their fingers. They were like, whatever happens, I know that we have work to do. It's just going to be a matter of in what direction. And yet
Yeah.
the people who don't know because they haven't read or because they believe, that politicians are somehow like for their, I don't know, they believe that politicians are Jesus is really how they be acting.
Uh huh.
Those people are the ones I saw that were like, I'm so worried about this election. I'm so worried. I'm so anxious that Trump is going to win. And for the first time ever, I was like, look at this. Ignorance isn't
Right,
bliss,
right,
ignorance
right,
is
right.
anxiety. And perhaps this could be a shift that shit, maybe if I know more, I won't feel this way.
Right, right.
It's a
When in
small,
reality, the more you know, the more you're freaked out. But whatever, they'll
that's
figure
what
that
it
part out.
used to be. But in
Yeah,
this case, I didn't feel that way. I felt like because I knew more, I wasn't freaked out. Because I
yeah.
was like, I already know. I already know that either way, some fuck shit is about to be afoot, and I'm gonna have to be a part of how that gets addressed. It's gonna be a certain level of fuck shit over here, a certain level, a certain type. But the reality is that a lot of people don't want to engage. A lot of people thought that Kamala would win and they could exhale and go back to pretending like shit is sweet.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah.
for a lot of people, shit isn't sweet. For the incarcerated people, shit ain't sweet, whether it's Kamala or Donald Trump, right?
Right.
For houseless people, whether it's Donald Trump
For
or Kamala,
people
shit
that
ain't sweet.
suffer from
For
people suffering from mental health issues, it's not sweet. For vets, it's not sweet. For single
immigrants,
moms, it's not sweet. Immigrants, it's not sweet.
like, so it's like there's like a small. I just feel like the professional black women that I saw who were really like, well, this is what we have to do. I'm like, okay, girl, okay,
Yeah.
okay, but also there was a lot to have been done, and there's a lot to be done regardless. So if you're only in this to protect your own interests, what are we really talking about?
Right, right. But that's the thing, like, I mean, it's for me. It's hard to have these conversations sometimes with people, or even my platform, or my cousins, or whatever. I don't really like the fan thing because people don't know shit. So it's like when I say something like about Palestine and free Palestine, or if I mention us being allies with Ukraine and how dangerous it is that him and Putin like to play with each other's asses, I don't know why my lives get blocked. I don't get it.
I don't
But
either. Why? Yeah, I have no idea.
but people don't see the danger in shit that's like blatant, obvious, clearly dangerous, bad shit. Because at this point, I would have voted for a possum. I didn't care about it being Kamala or Shaquita or Ricky or Bobby. I was just trying to keep the crazy one up out of there. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know, like that Project
But this is
2025
the
shit.
thing. But here's the thing about that. The short-sighted part about that is thinking that the only way to keep the crazy one out of there is to pretend that this one is not also has shortcomings. when those shortcomings are staring us in the face.
Yeah.
So there needed to, like, to me, I'm like, if you already have folks that are going to vote whether it's a possum or not, why are you ignoring the other people that are like, okay, it's a possum, but what does this possum like to eat? Like, I need to know.
Right.
And those
Right.
are the folks that were completely ignored, even though they were like, I want to vote for this possum.
For sure.
I love possums. I just don't know nothing about this possum. And I'm not the type of gal. I'm not the type of guy. I'm not the type of they, them. You know what I mean? Like, and they were all ignored. And instead,
sidebar, a quick question. When you were summoned, did you ever go? Because I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'll call
when she
you.
reached
I'll
out,
tell you the whole story.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Did you ever have that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That conversation or whatever.
We sat and talked.
Yeah.
We sat and talked, and I was very honest and very respectful.
I don't think you know how to not be very honest. I don't think you know how to be. You only have very honest or you're not talking. There's no in between with it. But no, I'll call you.
But I've also learned tact. But I've also learned tact, and I also, you know, I didn't speak to her from a place of anger. I spoke to her like a sister girl. I spoke to her like an auntie. That's really what it is. I spoke to her like, auntie, I want you to hear me. And
does she give that though?
No.
Does she give that?
No.
Does she even give you at all feeling like an auntie?
No. But I gave her that respect.
Okay.
She didn't give it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk on the phone because I don't even want to. I'm just curious. I mean.
She didn't give it to me. I mean, I don't know what she's like with her staff or anybody else, but I mean, I don't know. You know, people's state of mind can change how they come off in any situation.
It don't matter. If you give that, you will feel that. It don't matter what setting. If she gives older black women auntie, you're gonna feel it. It don't matter where you're at. You know what I mean?
Like your mom gives older black woman auntie.
Right. Is she an older black
woman?
But and an auntie?
Ultimately, but she gives politician, which is what I expect. You know what I mean? Like. She's a politician. She's a lifelong politician.
And
I mean, that's just...
she's been a lifelong. And that's the thing. That was my heart. That was the issue I had with her from the door because, to me, where I come from, she a cop. Like that's just, she's a cop. Like that's just.
But that's self-affirmed. She claimed that herself.
She is a cop. So it's
took
like
pictures in the jacket.
When they were so surprised about her having a Glock, it's like, are you fucking? She got 10 Glocks. She's a police. Like that's what the police do. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like. They made so many fucking mistakes in this shit. They should have pulled Joey out a long time ago. That way she would have had a year or so or maybe 2 years of actually being a president because she had to be.
She was not going to win running as Democrats run. So Democrats still think that they are, we go low, they go low, we go high. No, they go right. And you went right. That's the problem. Right. There are people who have left the Democratic Party. Jen Psaki was she was the White House press secretary. She left. But she said something very poignant the other night. And she said, instead of listening to people who left the Democratic Party and saying, how do we get them back? They were listening to people who left the Republican Party and trying to get them. And that's always the problem. That's always the problem. So when I say like she was never going to win running as the Democrats do, it's because Democrats are constantly running to save white votes, to get white votes. How do we get the white votes? As if there aren't different types of white people that aren't about that, as if there aren't all different groups of people that really are just like, I don't rock with none of this. And I was saying, that's what I was saying before I got discredited. I was saying, if she wants to win, I believe she's going to need to, one, have a policy change than Biden, and two, she's going to really need to bring in folks who are to the left of Democrats.
Right. But I have one more question.
Also, this country is racist AF and misogynist as AF. So to run a campaign ignoring that is beyond my scope of comprehension. Like your campaign should be very boldly saying this country needs to stop acting racist. Right. Period. Right. And I'm going to be in here, but they're afraid to say that because they're afraid that if they say that, then white people will not vote for them.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe they're
I have one more question. I know in my heart that that colorism is a thing that's it's a broad thing. It's a lot of different races. I watched a documentary with a Pakistani girl talking about how her mother would bleach her dark skin. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Latinos can be racist. I know that they are racist. That's why a lot of my brothers and sisters don't like when Fat Joe say nigga. Don't like when certain these big stars say nigga. Even though Fat Joe growing up 80s 90s Bronx and surviving it kind of makes you a nigga. But either way, my question to you is, why the fuck? This is the part that I'm really confused by it. Why the fuck would those come out in droves to vote vote for a nigga that they know is going to fuck with the status of some of their family members? Like, I just can't get that connection. Like, how do you
Wait,
vote
you
for the
cut
guy
out.
that's
Say it one more
like
time.
how do you, in the simplest way, how do you vote for the guy that's going to send away your abuelita? Like, I just don't get that. Like, how can he get so much of the Latin
Because
vote
they
when
didn't
so
really
many of them?
care.
So what, they
Because
don't care about their
they
family members?
no,
It's like a more self-serving
because at the
thing.
end of the because at the end of the day, macho is macho.
Yeah.
Like men who think that way, like that's how they think. They're like, I'm not gonna vote for a woman. That's not like their red line. Like my red line is genocide. Their red line is a woman. Like I'm just not gonna do it.
So you feel like he got the Latin vote on that note, on some like
Yeah,
machismo shit? Because I
absolutely.
couldn't. I mean, I don't know if I sound stupid or what. You know how I am, Amanda. Like, I'm somebody that seeks knowledge. I'm somebody that I want to be smart. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to me that when I'm saying things, I don't sound stupid. That's why I don't have a problem retracting things or apologizing. Like, in real life, I don't want to be a dumbass bitch. I don't know what's up with y'all and
I
why y'all okay with tweeting and putting things on Facebook. You know, the stuff that you put on the internet never goes away. I would literally be in shambles to see a tweet of mine from 10 years where I was saying some absolutely ignorant shit. And I'm not talking about a tweet saying I'm about to roll this weed up or I'm about to get my head knocked off when I go in the house with this nigga. He gonna do it to me till da, da, da. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about y'all just saying shit where you don't know nothing about the topic and you just sound fucking stupid. And most of the time it's some
yes.
homophobic, sexist bullshit. Like, y'all sound dumb and hateful. It's ridiculous. And then you Christians, don't let me start on that because that's crazy. If you love the Lord, we should be able to see your Christianity on you. You shouldn't have to tell me how much you tithe and what you do. I should be able to see that you moving like Jesus and them. Peace and blessings be upon them. Just because that's what you claim all day, every day. But I couldn't understand that. Like, I was legit shocked, and I'm not going to front. I'm kind of mad at myself because time,
You
like, I
breaking
actually
up.
give America the, huh? I'm breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working. I'm pacing. Can you hear me now? I'm gonna
Yeah, you
stop
gotta stand
pacing.
still.
I can. I legit am shocked, and it's like, I know that this country is racist. I know this country is feminist. When he got shot and he put, because I think that was fake too. I think all that was staged too. I think years from now we'll figure all that out. But when he has that blood on his ear and that fist up, I knew in that moment she couldn't beat that white man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
You can't beat that white man just coming through being regular.
smiling all hard and laughing and shit all the time. Like, I
I mean,
don't
just as
know,
black
but
women, we know that we end up having to do things. We got to be twice as better. We got to be twice as smart.
yes,
We got to be,
yes.
all the things. And here's it's Kimberly Renee, and she's always coming through with the facts. And it's like some Latinos identify as white, so they also are like,
So
okay,
Kimberly Renee, if they identify as white, their little dark ass grandma, what do they identify her little black ass as? And her and their cousins and shit. What do
you,
they?
but
That's the thing.
you're trying to apply rationale to something that's irrational.
There you go. And that's why I give up. Because it's driving me crazy. That part drives me crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
you
and
can't think that way.
I think that's why a lot of people just say fuck it. I'm not gonna vote because when you peer and pride, shit don't make no fucking sense. You know what I mean? It's like
Well, here's my
ridiculous. You
thing.
know,
But
a country that's
Here's
built.
my thing, Mona. If you say fuck it, I'm not gonna vote, then I just want to know what you are gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna come and shame people for this whole I'm not gonna vote thing. Like, Pat, people do this thing where they're like, people died so you could vote, and it's like, let's be clear, people died. They didn't die. People were murdered because the United States didn't want to give them the actual rights that they had already given them. So this idea that like people like fought for the right to vote, it's like people they already had the right to vote. In the 60s, they had the right to vote. They had the right since the end of the Civil War, since the Emancipation Proclamation, since Reconstruction, since the 14th Amendment, they had the right to vote. The reason that they were dying or they were being murdered was because this country is racist and this
Right.
country does not want to honor what it says it's going to do. So my
That's why we
frustration
ain't get
when
our
we have
mule.
politicians, so when we have politicians who say, oh, well, who won't even say they're going to do anything, I'm like, what do y'all expect? Now, the people who say, I don't want to vote because they're tired of the bullshit, et cetera, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to hold, because your ancestors weren't fighting to vote for what you're fighting to vote for. They were fighting
Right.
to vote thinking like, okay, if we can get in there, we can make change. Whereas
Right.
now people be like, if I can get in there, I can get bread. They trying to
Right.
make a different kind of change,
Right.
right? So it's not the same. But I will say this: if you not voting, what are you doing? That's all I want to know. That's all I
Yeah.
want to know. If you're not voting, what are you doing to balance the shit that is gonna still be in place, regardless of if you vote or not?
They're
And
tweeting.
I know,
They don't have anything
but
else to bring but like a
that's the part. So
opinion.
that's the part to me. That's not a real person. I know
Right.
people. I know people who were like, I'm not voting, and and then there are people who are like, I'm not voting, but that's different.
Right. Right.
That's different. And also, it's like not voting for president, but voting down ballot. That's also different. Like if you was really like I can't, but you still voted for your senator, you still voted for your for your representative, you still voted for the judges and the DA and the state senators and the state representatives, etc. Then no, I mean none of this shit is basic, and they keep trying to make it like it is, and it's
Basic or
not.
simple or black and white. None of it is. None of it is. Um, I haven't been excited or impressed or even like kind of like the candidate since Bernie Sanders. And I don't remember any other person that gave me that type of energy, Obama included. I was excited. I did feel a way when Obama started pushing that shit about recidivism and the 101 law. That's why I didn't do 10 years in prison to me. And I got arrested with cocaine and I was facing 10 to life and I was 20. Like them that law change, it saved my life. I would when me and you met, I'd have been fresh home of a 10-year bid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My whole life would have been different. But I just like having excitement for a candidate or this race, it was a lot of like shaming you, like shame on you black women for not loving this black woman, and shaming you black women for not, being excited about it being a woman in office. And it's just, I will say that I think that if, and I've been saying this for a long time, I don't care, what happens from it. That's why I don't have lives. If Kamala was brown skinned with a black husband, she would have had a better shot with our people. Because I feel like even some of the votes she got from us, it was almost like I'm gonna do this because everybody making me do it. But in reality, I don't like this bitch. You know what I mean? I don't trust her or whatever. On top of the fact that I think that a lot of people did say, "Oh, I'm voting for Kamala," and push it, and secretly they just went in there and voted for Trump. I think that happened a lot this time too. I
Mm.
don't understand the frustration with each other because when you look at the numbers, we came out, we did our thing, we always do. The white girls dropped the ball, and the Latinos voted for who they wanted to. I'm confused by white. I'm not even confused by white women. I'm just kind of tired of them, like the whole. Because it always gives like they want to be down, they want to be in the movement, but in reality, y'all don't care about nobody but y'all. You know what I mean? And this another thing, this energy of we not getting involved no more. Now, basically, like
Speak on it.
that. Come on. It's just
Speak on
like
it.
I don't know. And then on top of everything, the fact that they are still over there killing kids and shit in Palestine, and it's like nobody gives a shit. I'm just like this disillusion with the whole thing. Like it's such a big ass problem, and we just gonna pretend like none of that's a problem. Like we're not even gonna bring that shit up. Like we're not even gonna not one not like nothing. We're not gonna get no attention to it. And
I'm
it
seeing
was a
people
huge thing.
literally coming at other people like, why? See, if you hadn't brought that shit up, that man wouldn't be president right now. I'm like, we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not the same,
We just
and that's
not.
just what it is. We just not the
Yeah,
same. Like,
yeah,
and you know what? I'm not even gonna shame you, but you sure as hell ain't gonna shame me. We just not the
yeah.
same. But I
I
do
like
I
that.
do feel like we're just not a vibrational match.
Yeah.
We're not a vibrational match, and
I keep
what's
saying
gonna
last question, but it's not the last question. But this is the last question. What do you think about? Even though I already know, but it's for the people because I know you because we're friends. What do you think about when people are, because for me, um, perfect example. I met this little white boy up the street. He's a detailer. You know I'm friendly. You know I'm social, and he just wanted to hang out. You know, cool. You know he got a girlfriend. It's nothing like that, but he wanted to hang out. We exchanged socials. He's so sweet, so kind. He details cars. We exchanged socials like 23, white boy, and he's a Trump supporter. I'm talking about fucking flags everywhere, all kind of shit. I, for me, that is means our relationship is over. We can't be friends anymore. What do you think about? Because back in the day, 90s or whatever, just me coming up, I never remember people being so open about who they voted for. Back in the day, it was almost like a impolite
Yeah.
thing to say or ask, right? Now it's different. Now it's an app that's going viral that I can look and see how many times you voted, who you voted for, and all that, right? You saw that, right?
No.
Girl, they are blasting people. They are looking up, church members are looking up each other, and co-workers looking up for each other. That's why they blasted Waka Flocka, because he's been pushing Trump this whole time and he's never voted. That app came out and you can see how many times a person voted and who they voted for. What the fuck is going on and why? Why and what the fuck, right? But with all that being said, what do you think about people like me where I am cutting you the fuck off if you voted for Trump? I don't give a fuck if you've been selling weed for 20 years and I love you weed. I'm not speaking to you if you openly, you know, like, you know, especially with the, he's a good business. I know
He's not a
a
good
black person,
businessman.
it's so annoying to me. I don't get that. Why do people say, you already know why. It's because of the apprentice. It's because of the apprentice,
Which
period.
they which
It's,
which they have revealed was all a lie.
yes, and I wish they would have did that the first time he ran. Did you see that producer from that show coming out and saying all that
Yeah.
shit? They should have did that the first time he ran, because a lot of people, you know, that was how he won the last time. The forgotten about white man voter that sits in the house and he's angry and blames the Mexican down the street for why he don't have no fucking teeth. So let's vote for the guy that's gonna cut off all our fucking welfare and we'll never have teeth. I'm tired of all y'all, and I was being as nice as I can. You're all dumb fucks and you deserve whatever you get for voting for that man. I don't care what none of y'all say. You're all dumb fucks. And I
Well,
don't feel
because
bad
all of
because I
them
know
voted
how
for
to
him,
sell
because
drugs.
all of them who say that they voted for him for the economy or whatever,
Girl,
is bullshit. You didn't vote for
girl,
him for none of that shit. You voted for him because you want to be him, because you want to fucking do shit with impunity, because you want to be able to say shit and not have any fucking repercussions, and
yeah,
because at the end of the day, you don't want to beat your oppressor, you want to be your oppressor. That's
yeah.
why the fuck you voted for him. All right?
Damn, that's deep. That's deep. That is sick. It's from slavery. It's sick. Like, I
That's why.
understand it, but it's
So you
sick.
can tell me all day it's the economy. You don't know shit about economy. You can't even spell
You don't even know
economy. You
exactly.
don't even
God
know supply and
damn.
demand. You can't explain none of the shit. You have no idea how the fucking shit works. I don't want to hear about the economy. These
You
motherfuckers
want
have
us to
never
believe you
read
trading
The
stocks off your
Economist.
chime account? You fucking loser. You want motherfuckers to believe you using your Cash App and your chime account to get on the stock and you up on
You
it
can't
reading fucking
tell me about the index. You can't tell me about a mutual fund. You have
you
no
don't
idea what
know shit,
BlackRock is. Shut
motherfucker.
it up.
Like,
Shut
child,
it up.
it
Shut it
bothers
up.
me. It
So
really
I'm
pisses
with
me
you.
off. I'm
I'm with
cutting
you.
people off
But
in
what
real
was the
life.
but what was the
The
question? What do I think about people like that?
question was, what do you think about people that are cutting people off in real life, like me, like a
I
lot of people that I know, like,
think that's boundaries for your own mental health safety.
because
Yeah,
let
like how
people tell it.
because at the end of the day, my thing is this. You have to decide, are you trying to teach people in your life? Who are you trying to teach in your life? Like, because that's like a big undertaking, right? So it's like you got to teach him. You don't got time to teach
Exactly.
him and the
And
white man
clearly
up the
he's
block.
crazy. Look at him. I have to do a lot of teaching. I don't have time to teach my friends every fucking thing. But I mean, I'm not speaking to you. It's that
No, like
deep to me. I'm not
have no
speaking to you
interest.
anymore.
I have no interest. Like I don't want to learn about you. I don't want to like when I was in 2017 when I was on this Katy Perry thing where I said to Claire to what's her name? Caitlyn Jenner where I kept it a buck with her and people were like, "Oh my gosh, she a real one." Like what they didn't see was that earlier in that dinner they was talking about Trump and they were like, everyone's voice deserves to be heard, even the people who voted for Trump. And then they came to me and Van Jones was like, what do you think, Amanda? I said, I'm not trying to hear nobody who's voted
Period.
for Trump.
Period.
Yeah, I heard you when you voted. I don't need to
Exactly.
hear anything else. And they were like,
Exactly.
Amanda, Amanda. And I was like, y'all over here on some kumbaya, rah rah BS. And that man is trying to be Hitler. And they were like,
Period.
oh, how dare you and Anna Navarro and all of them were just so abhorrent. Oh my God, Amanda, how dare you say that the president of the United States wants to be Hitler?
He does. That's exactly what he
That
wants
was
to
in
do.
2017. I said that.
That
So I take it
motherfucker.
personal
What
when
year?
people be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I so know that I hate it.
And I've been new. What year was it when he said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue right now, nothing to happen? He manifested this shit. And guess what? Now, right now, I guess after what is it, January, whatever, when the shit happens at the
Six.
shit, I really
Oh,
blame
January
all this on.
20th.
You know what I blame all this on? Conjunction junction. Where's your function? They should have kept running that so we could have learned the government a little more. A lot of us, that's why you will hear a nigga say, he gave us 1,200. They don't understand how government works. But guess what? Donald Trump understands how people work. That's why he put so much effort in putting his face on that check that
Yep.
he had nothing to fucking do with, that he was against. You
Mm-hmm.
fucking idiots. $1,200 that he didn't want to give you, but he was smart enough to say, put my face on the check. Them niggas gonna
Well,
go for it then.
even with the HBCUs, they all went
Fuck.
in there and took a picture with him, like, "Oh my gosh, she's giving us money," and he gave them like $5. I think it was something crazy where like Obama had given them like 70 million, and he gave them like 7 million, like something like that. Like the
Yeah.
numbers was wildly different, but they still went up there and they take that picture. Look at us with this white man who gave us this money. But I say all that to
I
say
don't
that
know.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat.
All right.
Um,
And I want to say this too before we leave. When slavery starts back and I'm in the house, I don't want to hear shit because y'all already knew I was going to be in the house. When you see me flirting with that white man, don't worry about it. Keep your black ass outside because I fucking told y'all. I told y'all what was going down. So when I'm in the house with my little long dress swinging his ass around that house, don't worry about it because you already knew where I was going to be. Love y'all. I'm still a comedian, guys. It's just a joke. It's inappropriate, but it's funny. Come on. Come on. Can I get a chuckle? I love you, Amanda. Call me later.
yes, love you.
Call me later. You got the number, nigga.
I got the number.
All right, love.
Love you.
Love.
There, y'all got it. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. If you want to hear more commentary like this, you can follow my Patreon. If you missed my one woman show, What Would the Ancestors Say? It will be available for sale on my Patreon. Be kind to each other. Be kind to each other. And the sooner that you understand that there's we and there's them, and them is the people on the hill, and we are the people dealing with the results of their choices, the sooner that you realize that, the better off you'll be. And one of the things you can do is start with this, okay? Start with George Jackson, Blood in My Eye, okay? Blood in My Eye captures the spirit of George Jackson's legendary resistance to unbridled oppression and racism. His unique and incisively critical perspective becomes a unifying thread that ties together this collection of letters and essays in which he presents his analysis of armed struggle, class war, fascism, communism, and a wide array of other topics. Blood in My Eye was completed only days before its author was killed. George Jackson died on August 21st, 1971, at the hands of San Quentin prison guards during an alleged escape attempt. At age 18, George Jackson was convicted of stealing $70 from a gas station and was sentenced to 1 year of life. 1 year to life. He was to spend the rest of his life, 11 years, in the California prison system, 7 of them in solitary confinement. In prison, he read widely and transformed himself into an activist and political theoretician who defined himself as a revolutionary. As a revolutionary, he found meaning in his daily prison existence. And it was in that context that he came to terms with the death of his younger brother, Jonathan, killed while attempting to free 3 Black prisoners from custody at a California courthouse. Jackson's first book, Soledad Brother, The Prison Writings of George Jackson, published in 1970, earned him the respect and admiration of progressive people around the world. But even before that book, Jackson was a legendary figure inside the prison system of California, known to all as an uncompromising individual. A fellow prisoner described him as a very beautiful example of what a Black man should be. In a letter to Angela Davis, Jackson wrote, "If my enemies, your enemies, prove stronger than us, at least I want them to know that they made one righteous African man extremely angry." On another occasion, he wrote, "They'll never count me among the broken men. As blood in my eye affirms, George Jackson remained unbroken." Now, for the record, the count, y'all be wanting y'all be wanting the information. I'm here telling you about this book. I'm reading the back of the book. The numbers went down from 900 to 600 that quick. You don't really want to know. And if you don't really want to know, then shut up. Shut up.